Hey everybody, we usually would not be making a video like this, but
Don't be fooled by me picking up my house because I'm not typically the one that does it. And don't be fooled by me taking care of my son because most of the time my wife does that too.
So is that unappealing to you?
I mean, when they're lopsided like that, yes, but
it's like you have a sister and she's like kind of hot.
So my sister-in-law almost saw me naked. I never walk around my house naked.
Do men find stretch marks unattractive? I'm asking all the postpartum questions.
you know, I think it's like one of those things where...
But worst of all, there was breastfeeding, which really caused us to butt heads. It was really important to my wife that she breastfed our baby, but it was really important to me that our baby got fed.
By me not saying anything, I think that brought you down.
Well, you were bringing me down because you weren't talking to me.
That's true. Yeah, maybe that would look good. He's like, oh, you don't think you don't like my boobs?
How would you feel if you and your girlfriend, boyfriend, or spouse were making millions of dollars online for looking like the perfect couple, and then out of nowhere, your entire empire came crashing down all because they couldn't stop being a dumbass and spew hell takes on your platforms? And what if you saw millions of dollars rolling into your bank account each and every time your spouse got you two canceled? Well, strap in because that's exactly what we'll get into in today's video. Matt and Abby Howard are a YouTube husband and wife duo with over 7.7 million subscribers and over 7 billion total channel views. Matt and Abby met and started dating when they were in high school, got engaged at 19, and got married at 20. Today, they have 2 sons and are both 26 years old. The couple started their YouTube channel 5.5 years ago on July 28th, 2019. Since then, they have uploaded over 1,100 videos. Matt and Abby originally went viral for their vlogs and couple challenges, but if you go to their channel today, you'll immediately see that YouTube Shorts are what really skyrocketed their fame. The couple also had their first son in 2022 and their second son in 2023, which also was a huge boost in their online success. Some of Matt and Abby's YouTube Shorts thumbnails are pretty weird, to be honest, but that's probably what got them hundreds of millions of views on a ton of these shorts that are uploaded to their channel. Looking at this couple on paper, you'd think the internet loves them. 10 of their shorts have 100 to 630 million views. Tons of their long form YouTube videos have 1 million to 5 million views. And their millions of followers have moved with them to other platforms like Instagram and TikTok. Matt and Abby at first glance appear to be two 26-year-olds who are adored by the internet, make bank on social media, and are set for life. But by the title of this video, you already know this story is about to take a serious turn. Matt and Abby built their platform by oversharing about their personal lives and about their relationship, marriage, and parenting styles. No one is perfect, and no one has a perfect relationship. Constantly oversharing about these things and not knowing when to stop talking about these personal aspects of your life will always be a huge recipe for disaster. But this is a concept Matt and Abby just can't seem to grasp.
How do girls feel about...
Babe,
What's up? What?
do you find my mom attractive?
I'm never going to call you daddy again. That's so
I think
weird.
that's kind of hot. I mean, feel free to if you want.
You're kidding.
What?
You're one of those?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of liked it. I call you hot mama.
Like, I know, but mama
I'm
feels
always
better
like-
than like mommy.
I
Just
think-
like dada
Oh,
sounds
that's
better
true.
than daddy.
I don't call you mommy.
Matt and Abby seem to think the only way they can make money online as a married couple is by oversharing and being uncomfortably vulnerable with their audience about negative aspects of their relationship. But that's just not the case at all. Yes, you will get hate online no matter what you do. That's just how the internet is because everyone has their own opinion on any given topic. But Matt and Abby give people 100 times the normal ammunition for hate by oversharing. Matt and Abby's clickbait and borderline rage bait content strategies snowballed all the hate even more. For example, instead of Matt and Abby keeping private things private and saying something like, "The newborn stage is hard, but we got through it together, and you and your spouse can too," they'll say things like this.
Her milk hadn't come in yet and our baby refused to latch. He would scream and cry and the tension in the room got extremely elevated. I offered to give our baby formula until my wife's milk came in, but she saw this as a direct attack. My wife was doing what she thought was best for our baby, and so was I.
We're not dumb. Obviously, they post these videos that'll get backlash and speak on these controversial topics because they know they'll get more views and more money for doing so. But Matt and Abby constantly act dumbfounded every single time they get canceled for posting these insane videos. 2024 was really the year the entire internet turned on Matt and Abby. Today, the couple does still have a ton of diehard fans, but a lot of their comment sections are heavily filtered, and a lot of the users on TikTok are getting blocked by Matt and Abby after writing negative comments. 99% of this online hatred has been brought on by Matt's actions. All of the insane stuff Matt has said has earned him the title worst husband on the internet. At first, a lot of people ran to Abby's defense because all of the ridiculous stuff Matt was saying. But today, Abby has just as many haters as Matt. Just when you thought the internet might be starting to forgive Matt for his actions, Abby posted an Instagram story that stuck a final nail in the coffin and might even have the couple facing legal trouble. Before we get into why pretty much the whole entire internet now hates Matt and Abby, make sure to like the video, and while you're down there, you might as well subscribe to join the best community on YouTube. For some added context, besides their 7.7 million subscribers on YouTube on their main channel, Matt and Abby also have 770,000 subscribers on their podcast channel, 5.3 million TikTok followers, and 2 million combined Instagram followers. Matt and Abby started their podcast called The Unplanned Podcast on February 1st, 2023. They have had a lot of famous guests on their podcast like Raven Simone, Abby Lee Miller, Taylor Lautner, Daniela Monette, Bradley Stephen Perry, and so much more. Once again, this podcast looks like it would be a success at first glance. And if you're just talking about monetarily, it was. But the Unplanned Podcast probably should have been more planned, because the couple had some pretty controversial conversations and borderline passive-aggressive arguments on the podcast that were re-uploaded to TikTok, and ended up being a huge factor in Matt's online reputation being absolutely destroyed. Thinking about what I just said, this clip from episode 7 of the podcast aged like terrible milk.
Because on a podcast, like, we talk so openly and so authentically about our lives. So it's kind of scary, but at the same time, like, I feel safe talking about it here because people are listening to an hour-long episode and they're not just like taking bits and pieces of what we say and take them out of context, you know? So that's what's really reassuring about a podcast.
Maybe this will be good for me.
In this episode, Matt and Abby talk about how they were canceled in 2021 and 2022, but they were fortunately able to move forward and get back in people's good graces. In 2021, Instagram users turned on the couple for selling t-shirts that said Aloha Dudes on them. Matt and Abby, who were living in Hawaii at the time, were accused of exploiting the Hawaiian culture with this merch launch. It's obviously really wrong that they received all of those threats, but this podcast episode just really shows that Matt and Abby learn nothing each time they are canceled. I think one of the biggest reasons why they get canceled so much is because they just don't know when to stop talking. For example, in this episode, Abby refers to Hawaiians as these people multiple times. They start out by acknowledging Hawaii was a land stolen by the US and the culture was almost forcibly erased by Americans. But then they talk about getting triggered by who I assume are Hawaiian surfer influencers, telling them they did nothing wrong. Also, Matt and Abby referred to the Hawaii situation as an online cancellation that wasn't reality, and it was all just hate on an app. But from how they describe it, it doesn't seem like that was actually the case. It seems like what actually happened is the couple moved to Hawaii, they made the Aloha merch, and then as they said, they got labeled as white people exploiting the natives. They got actual backlash from the islanders in real life to the point that they were scared to leave their house, and even other influencers shunned them in public. So then they immediately moved back to the mainland United States. I honestly think that Matt and Abby are just dumb. Like, what did they honestly think was going to happen when they immediately made Hawaiian merch after moving to Hawaii? Matt and Abby tried to clean up this situation by donating all the money earned from the merch sales to a Hawaiian organization that teaches the Hawaiian language to kids. But the damage to their reputation was already done.
Professional surfers that were like posting about us, and like I had heard, I don't even want to get into it, but like it just
people
got
that you
nasty.
had looked up to
People that I looked up
since
to.
you were a child, making mockery of you online, and that just makes me so hurt to know that like you've looked up to him since you were to these people as a role model for years. And then for them to know nothing about you yet put you in a negative way on their platform, that's massive.
I never saw it, but I was told by friends that there was a really, really well-known professional surfer that like posted about it, just making fun of me, and that really hurt. That because it was like, that was, I don't know, like I never would do anything intentionally to hurt somebody, and so like that made me feel awful, and I was just like, I was so. There was a night, I remember there's one night we had gotten back to the mainland, and I just like, I lashed out. I was just like so frustrated by the whole situation, and I just didn't even know, like, I didn't even know what to do. People were tagging us on their stories. People were DMing us. We got some very aggressive DMs, especially.
Dude, we got death threats. Like,
I wouldn't know if I would go as far as to say.
Oh, yes, we did. People were telling us, they were saying they drove past our house. They said, we'll show you what we do with people like they called us haoles, which is just a derogatory term for white person or outsider in Hawaiian. We'll show you how we treat you guys. Like, you need to go to the mother effing place that you came from. Like,
go back to where you came from, haole.
Whatever hole you crawled out of. The magnitude of the anger coming from these people was so scary.
It was really scary.
We would go out in public, and that's the thing. It's such a small community out there that we would go out in public and
people knew.
And I was terrified to go to the grocery store. I remember you left the house to do something.
I went to the grocery store.
Oh, you went to the grocery store.
And I was so thankful at the time that it was like the mask era. Like I had my face mask on, and I was like, gosh, I hope no one recognizes me here.
That's the crazy thing about online hate is that like almost none of our followers knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But it still felt like everyone in the world hated us. It felt like we had committed the ultimate offense.
Really
Wasn't it so
scary.
weird when we landed on the mainland and it felt like
We felt like we were safe.
Yeah, it felt like we were safe. Like I just felt so incredibly unwelcomed.
Next in the episode, they explain why Matt got canceled in 2022. Basically, Matt made a TikTok saying that Abby takes care of their son 90% of the time, which got him a ton of backlash, TikTok stitches, and hate comments calling Matt a deadbeat dad. Here's the original TikTok video.
Don't be fooled by me picking up my house because I'm not typically the one that does it. And don't be fooled by me taking care of my son because most of the time my wife does that too. Abby really wanted to go to the gym tonight, so I'm on Griffin duty and I wanted to surprise her with a clean house when she got home. In our relationship, we naturally take on more traditional marital roles, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And despite what the internet says, there's absolutely nothing wrong with microwaving breast milk. Just kidding, that was really dumb. I am so sorry for making that stupid joke. Getting to bottle feed Griffin turned out to be a treat because it was something that I hadn't gotten to do in a while. When he was a newborn, it was my job to feed him when he woke up at night. But now that he's gotten older, he really doesn't do that as much anymore. I actually spend most of my time with him now just going, oi, 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 because then he'll make really cute noises back to me and it melts my heart. Now, I'm going to apologize in advance to Abby because I really do not know where her stuff goes. And Griffin tried to rip my nipple off. Abby came home a bit earlier than I was expecting, which kind of ruined the surprise, so I rushed to finish up the job. It's kind of funny how when you've been married a while, something as simple as cleaning can go a really long way. I'm not a perfect person, and there's definitely things I can do to improve, so...
Matt explains the situation and says that he made the TikTok because a lot of people thought he did more parenting than Abby. But it all backfired for obvious reasons. Matt admits he made the hook in the first 3 seconds of the video dramatic to get more views, essentially clickbaiting the audience into thinking he doesn't care for his own kid. This is another tactic Matt and Abby have never stopped using, and has led to countless other cancellations that I'll get into. Matt admits he should have never posted the video with that hook, but also gets mad at other creators who turned on him after the video. A lot of people think Matt and Abby are rage baiters, but I honestly think they just don't think before they speak, and are reckless with what they say online, which just digs the hole deeper and deeper, and destroys their reputation more and more each day as they overshare about their lives and relationship more and more to their audience.
I'm picking up the house and I'm like, ooh, I should make a video where it's like, even though I'm picking up the house and I'm taking care of Griffin, I should make a video about how Abby does more than I do in that regard.
Your intention and your heart behind that TikTok was to lift up your wife.
Yeah.
Yet in turn, you literally dug your own grave.
I dug my own grave, and it was horrible. I mean, like, backlash was insane. We made the mistake of not taking off duets and stitches off of our TikToks.
It was mostly the stitches that really got us.
Because on TikTok, look, people are scrolling on their For You page. And so if you don't provide a strong enough hook in the first like 3 seconds of the video, people are gone. They're not going to watch your video. And so most TikTokers provide a pretty strong hook in the beginning.
Just share your hook. Quote.
And oh my gosh, see, my hook sounds so bad. Looking back, I'm like, wow, that was so stupid. But like the hook that I made was, don't be fooled by me taking care of my son because most of the time my wife does that. That was my hook for the video.
Yeah,
and
which honestly doesn't represent you well at all.
Really, and honestly, that
it's not even truthful.
That really honestly isn't truthful. I really did.
You were up with for instance, Matt was up with Griffin last night from 2:30 a.m. to 5:30 a.m.
It was horrible. Yeah, it was like a 3-hour stretch.
And that
last
was all
night.
Matt.
I wake up with Griffin at night.
I didn't get out of bed.
I'm the one that puts Griffin down for naps. I sing to him when he falls asleep.
Basically, all to say is that we co-parent.
Yes.
But we're married. Is that still called co-parenting if we're married?
We're a team.
We are a team in every aspect, and from business to home.
Yeah, and because we're a team, if one of us is ever watching Griffin alone, we call it Griffin duty.
It was different from the Hawaii experience because this was literally so stupid because you are such an excellent husband, you are such an excellent dad. For anyone to say anything different, it's just they clearly don't know you.
It just sucked to get on TikTok and like the second I get on TikTok it'd be a video about me.
Yeah, that
and
sucks.
Someone just like roasting me, like video after video roasting me, and it just like it sucked because I became like a virtual punching bag. And
for all men, I think that there was so much anger that people had about their own husband and their own, like, I don't know if they were a single mother without there was just so much misplaced anger that got thrown on you.
Well, it really became a trend to stitch the video, to stitch my don't be fooled by me taking care of my son because my wife does that most of the time. I forget, whatever the line was. People would clip that and not watch any more of the video and then just roast me.
I'm sorry, what kind of bum dad would even admit that?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? That should be their first clue that, okay, wait, maybe I need to look a little bit deeper into this.
How did nobody, like me, we also have an editor that works for us as well, like, because there's so much editing. Like, I edit, like, 40 hours a week, but then we have another editor, like, editing 40 hours a week. Like, how did no one catch that? Like, we totally, like, this video.
I think I was just like, it's Christmas time. I don't even know if I saw the video before it got posted.
In the episode, Matt says they are lucky they didn't get canceled by TikTok users because getting canceled on TikTok is worse than anything else, and it's the most brutal type of cancellation. That is pretty crazy foreshadowing for the rest of what we'll get into in this video. There were plenty of other times the two were canceled that they didn't mention in this podcast episode. For example, the time they uploaded a video about bringing their 7-week-old baby to an influencer party. Again, Matt and Abby are just dumb if they didn't think sharing this decision to bring a less than 2-month-old baby with a weak immune system to a party in Malibu would get backlash. Parenting is a really touchy subject online, and they should have known this video would be received terribly. Side note, a lot of creators get backlash for how they strap in their kids in car seats because different countries have different laws and car seat regulations. I'm pretty sure in the UK, car seats don't have chest clips, so if any American sees a kid in a car seat with no chest clip, they'll immediately run to the comments saying the parents are endangering their children. A great way to avoid all of this parenting backlash is to stop using your kids for clout on social media. But I digress. This TikToker's video pretty much sums up how everyone responded to Matt and Abby's party video.
I'm sorry, am I the only one that remembers this?
Oh my gosh, who are those crazy parents that took their 7-week-old baby to a party in Malibu? Oh yeah, that would be us. We packed.
That is literally the biggest red flag of all of the red flags, and that was 2 years ago.
Matt was also labeled as a terrible husband when he uploaded a video talking about how it was his job to set up the water bill payments, and he never did. So their water was shut off after being unpaid for 7 months.
Apparently our water got shut off because we haven't paid our bill in 7 months.
What are you doing?
Dude, I thought it was on autopay. I thought for sure.
You have to set up autopay for it to be on autopay.
I was pretty sure that I set it up on autopay and it just didn't work.
No, Matt, you haven't made a single payment. There's no way that you set up autopay.
When is it going to come back
I'm
on?
out here being like, why is our water pressure not correct? They're like, man, your water's been shut off.
Oh.
And I was like, whoa, why is the water been shut off? They're like, you've not paid ever. You've never paid.
How much was it for?
You know what? I really just thought recently, I was like, man, how nice is it that I have a husband? I don't have to do anything. Like, I don't have to worry about bills. No, I do.
Hey, this
why
one?
am I sitting back relaxing? We have not paid for water.
Now, you'd think, or you'd hope, that Matt and Abby would learn from these cancellations and be more careful with their words online. Not try to clickbait with dramatic hooks that paint either one of them in a bad light. And stop oversharing. But that doesn't work. They learned absolutely nothing because we haven't even scratched the surface of why Matt is known as the worst husband on the internet. Right after the birth of Matt and Abby's second son in August of 2023, Matt uploaded these 2 TikTok videos.
We didn't have the best time at the hospital. Put our marriage to the test. It wasn't the hospital staff. They were great. We were just sleep deprived. Worst of all, there was breastfeeding. We were on the same team and didn't even know. I was ready to get home because I hadn't showered in 2 days and wanted to sleep in my own bed. The atmosphere quickly turned. The first night, we got 4 hours of sleep combined.
When my wife gave birth, I never had the feeling of it all being about me. So these videos are either rage bait or he's just completely full of himself. Matt describes the C-section recovery as both of their recoveries. I find it extremely strange that Matt would make a big deal about the formula versus breastfeeding topic because latching and breastfeeding is an extremely emotional and stressful time for the mom and the baby. Matt is allowed to care about his son getting fed, but why blast your wife on social media about such a vulnerable topic? Matt complains about not sleeping, not showering 2 days, and not being able to sleep in his own bed. But his wife just had major surgery and probably won't even be able to move when she gets home without being in excruciating pain. Obviously, the birth of your son and watching your wife give birth is an extremely stressful and terrifying time as a husband. But that's the point. You are watching it all happen. You're not going through it yourself. You have to be an idiot to decide to make the day after your wife's C-section all about you. If Matt genuinely wanted to make content for young dads and let them know it's okay to be scared or depressed in the newborn stage, he would just do that a few months after the birth or even a few weeks after the birth. But that isn't what Matt was doing. He knew this video would get millions of views, a ton of hate comments and stitches, and in the end would make a big bag. The stroller Matt uses in the video is almost $600, so he probably wanted to make an easy bag after spending a ton of money before the baby arrived. Or maybe they got the stroller for free with the sponsorship, but they make millions with these ridiculous videos regardless of the situation. The thing I don't like about Matt and Abby is that they clearly act controversial just to make money, but they can't take the heat during each cancellation, and they'll dodge accountability and blame TikTok or their fans for getting mad at them. Then, on episode 29 of their podcast, Also in August of 2023, Matt and Abby talked about the C-section experience. The comments are turned off on this episode on YouTube for obvious reasons. Matt keeps calling the C-section easy and keeps talking about the birth as if it was something they both went through, which again is just weird. He also said he gave Abby the silent treatment for 2 days after they got home from the hospital. But I think they cut that segment out of the podcast in post after they got backlash, because I watched the full episode and it wasn't there. But I was able to find the re-uploaded clips.
It felt like we cheated birth.
It was crazy.
After going through such a scary, traumatic, with the first birth, I was not expecting that. So with this one, it felt like we cheated because we just like walked into the hospital, walked into this room, boom, you're open and here's our kid. It was just like so quick. I was like, there's no way this is happening right now. Yeah.
Once we got from the hospital, it was a whole different ballgame, and we actually hit, I think, the lowest point of our entire marriage.
Okay. Are we going to talk about that on here?
Not in detail, but I feel like it's good for other people to know that.
Okay. Like, I just kind of shut down and didn't say anything. Like I was just like quiet.
Yeah, that was hard for me.
Because I wasn't going to like talk to you about it because I didn't want to like bring you down. But then by me not saying anything, I think that brought you down.
Well, you were bringing me down because you weren't talking to me.
That's true. I was having this like realization moment of, okay, like my life just changed big time. And for a little bit, I was like, wow, like all my career goals have to go to the wayside. And I just kind of felt, I was kind of frustrated a little bit.
I could tell.
And I just kind of shut down and didn't say anything. Like I was just like quiet.
Yeah, that was hard for me.
I was doing like everything for Augie. And so I'm like, here I am, like I have all these like big goals and big dreams and I have to put them to the wayside. And I'm like, I'm stuck here. And I was kind of mad.
Yeah.
And that just lasted for like a day.
It lasted like 2 days.
You think it lasted 2 days?
For sure.
Did it last into the second day? Maybe it did last for the second day. But then it went away.
Then in October 2023, they uploaded this TikTok of Matt reacting to Abby's new haircut. At first, he was doing fine with the compliments, but then things take a weird turn when Matt said it's almost like if Abby had a hot sister. As you can guess, the hate comments against Matt flooded in like crazy.
You chopped it off! Wow.
I like it.
Wait, did it actually land on that or did you just go for it?
It landed on that.
No way.
Yeah.
It's like you reinvented yourself. New packaging.
Yep, new packaging.
Wow, it's so pretty and blonde. Just like the way you styled it too. It complements the whole look. You look really cute.
Thanks.
You look like a new woman.
You look like a new one.
It's like you have a sister and she's like kind of hot. Don't mean it like that. You don't have any sisters.
Also in October 2023, Matt uploaded this TikTok, which used the rage bait hook, I don't sleep in the same bed as my wife.
My wife and I sleep in separate beds, but it's probably not for the reason that you would think. I'm a night owl, so naturally I take the night shift. And our baby cries, it can get really stressful, but with the music pumping, I couldn't help but dance. I was a theater kid in high school, so I sporadically break into dance parties alone at my house more often than I'd like to admit. Right now, the song I've been listening to on repeat is Falling in Love by Matt Howard. He's an independent artist from St. Louis, Missouri, father of 2, and he has 2 whole songs on Spotify.
As Matt already admitted, he'll say something controversial in the first 3 seconds of the video to get more views. But the couple clearly has horrible mental health after all of these cancellations. So why keep trying to get canceled just for money? Abby said she punched herself in the head after getting canceled in Hawaii. And Matt says he has extremely bad crippling depression. So they clearly need to stop. But with the money, they won't. Matt and Abby also used this sleep divorce hook in a TikTok from 6 months prior when Abby was still pregnant.
My husband and I no longer sleep together, which is so odd because I'm a big co-sleeper. I always preferred having roommates. At sleepovers or on trips, I was always the first to volunteer to share a bed. And I also think I have some type of anxiety when it comes to the baby monitor. Like if it's in the room when I'm sleeping, I can't rest. I just keep listening to it to see if he's awake. So rather than both of us having interrupted sleep in the night, it's just one of us. I was super hesitant at first, but sometimes you just gotta sleep.
And they titled the podcast episode Sleep Divorce and Fighting in Public. If you don't want TikTokers to think you have a terrible marriage, stop saying you are sleep divorced.
We're still married, but according to TikTok, we are on the outs, actually.
We're still sleeping together, but we're not sleeping together, if you know what I mean.
The comments are also turned off on episode 45 of the podcast from December 2023. This is because Matt once again got canceled after he had this to say.
People really want to know this, and I think that you didn't answer the question fully.
What is it?
Serious question. Does it feel different down there after birth?
Oh.
And I'm not talking about after a C-section.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. I feel like it goes back, but it doesn't go back to exactly how.
Yeah,
it was
we
before.
talked about this the other day, and I was kind of surprised to hear you say that because you'd never told me until I asked you.
Because I always heard, oh, it goes back to normal, but it doesn't go back to exactly the way it was before. If that makes sense.
So, maybe I shouldn't go into too much detail.
We can say whatever.
You still like it after?
I still like it, of course.
You like it as much?
Yeah, I would say so.
That doesn't sound very.
I think I like it pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
This clip is pretty much like, would you smash or pass me after having our sons? Man, I mean, I guess there's some history there. I guess smash.
Do men find stretch marks unattractive? I'm asking all the postpartum questions.
You know, I think it's like one of those things where you want a natural looking woman. You know,
Yeah.
you want a woman that has.
Or do you? Who knows?
That's what I like.
You do like
personally.
natural.
I like a natural look.
But
I
you said
think
you like with makeup.
that, but a natural makeup. Natural makeup.
Okay.
And so I don't know. I think like some stretch marks are good, but then it's almost as if you have a ton, it might not look as good.
Talk about my stretch marks because I got them on the top area.
Okay.
And I got them on the belly area.
It's like you inflate those things every day. Sometimes I see them and I'm wow, those are so full and they're huge. And then other times I'll see them and they look like all the juice got sucked out of them. You know,
Well, it's exactly what happened.
And so
wait, all the
kinda
juice
crazy.
got sucked out of
All
them.
the juice got sucked out.
That doesn't sound very appealing.
That's what it looks like sometimes. I mean, as far as we talked about this the other day, like Augie ate on one boob, and so one boob was huge, and the other one was just teeny tiny.
Yeah, and so is that unappealing to you?
I mean, when they're lopsided like that, yes, but
What if they're both sucked out?
I would prefer them when they're full of milk. I think that looks
Do you know
better.
when they're all sucked out, that's gonna be what they look like when we are like weaned.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, it is.
I think I saw a TikTok about this. It was the lady that had the little balloons, and she was pumping up the balloons, and then showed.
Sometimes they're smaller than before.
That's crazy. That's wild.
There's
what
like
breastfeeding can do to your boobs.
flapjacks.
So moms that don't breastfeed, do their boobs go to
I
the
don't
same
think
thing?
they suffer as much.
Their boobs don't suffer. Like okay,
No.
interesting.
Because it's the constant, like what you're saying, the inflating and the deflating
and it
that
probably
stretches your skin.
changes your skin up.
Causes stretch marks, which is
So
what we talked
interesting.
about, which makes them saggy then too, because you have more skin than you do have stuffing.
Interesting. It's funny that you're talking about boobs because you bring up boob jobs all the time.
I know, because I don't know how I feel about them.
Yeah.
Matt is a singer and a songwriter, and in March of 2024, he released his most controversial song of all time. Matt got so much heat for this song that he ended up removing it from the TikTok platform altogether. Now, I don't want to downplay Matt's depression, so I don't want to go too into his song. I thought I'd be happier. But in this song, Matt says, I thought by now I'd be happier because I got everything I wanted. But it's still not enough. Matt didn't mean for this song to come across as him not loving his wife and kids, but it came across that way to a lot of people. He meant that all of the happy things in his life should be enough, but depression takes away his happiness. But people just took this as, I thought my wife and kids would be enough to make me happy, but they're not. So yeah. Matt uploaded a TikTok to his personal account to launch this new song. And in that video, he says men are 4 times more likely than women to take their own lives. This is true, but I'm just bringing this up because this just heaped more onto the already existing dumpster fire of all of the hatred for Matt. People felt like they now had concrete proof that he hated Abby and his family. On April 20th, 2024, Matt and Abby uploaded this clip from their podcast to their TikTok account. Once again, the comments are shut off on this TikTok.
I just find you very attractive.
Yeah, I find you very attractive too.
And there was a time where I did not.
Same.
Isn't that so funny how our brain can do that though?
Yes.
It's so crazy. And that's also why you shouldn't marry someone for looks.
Bingo.
Like, I sound like such a hypocrite because I'm saying that and I'm married to like such a hot man. Like such a good looking man. Such a hot buzzed man.
It's insane because Matt and Abby claim their podcast is clipped and taken out of context, but they are the ones re-uploading the most controversial segments to the podcast's TikTok account. In this same episode, Abby says divorce isn't an option for them, which just made all of the backlash even worse because people already had the impression that Matt was a horrible husband and Abby was a victim. Now, obviously their marriage probably isn't anything like what we see on the internet, especially because all of the rage bait skews the narrative. So people can't force Abby to get a divorce. But people really hated this clip.
For us, like divorce is just not on the table. It's not an option. I think people go into marriage thinking divorce is an option. That's why they kind of work themselves towards divorce subconsciously.
Yeah.
Then in June 2024, the huge Matt birthday, Father's Day controversy started. Matt and Abby uploaded this controversial clip from episode 69 of their podcast to TikTok.
We had
And
Father's
I
Day.
grew your child
You did grow my child.
all day, every day.
But like Father's Day and my birthday were the same exact day.
Yeah, and
it kind of was a bummer.
Matt was already being called the worst husband on the internet, so them sharing this was just beating a dead horse. Major media outlets like People magazine even covered this story because Matt appeared to be shaming his wife for failing him by combining his birthday and Father's Day. Even though they got back from vacation on the plane that same day, and she was pregnant, and she still got him a cake, and invited family over for a party with grilled food. Matt had to grill the food, and he wasn't too happy about that either. When Abby keeps repeating, "I failed you," she clearly wants him to say, "No, you didn't. You didn't fail me. You did great." But he just doubled down, and now the family has to celebrate 3 months later, so his birthday doesn't get overshadowed by Father's Day.
So we've decided as a family that we are not celebrating Father's Day this year.
It is so sad. I'm so disappointed.
Not celebrating it on Father's Day. But
in September.
Wait, what date is Father's Day this year?
Father's Day, it's always in June, and it's like always around.
Last year was June 18th, which is Matt's birthday. So
yes.
He had Father's Day and his birthday on the same day. And
so sad.
I will say I am disappointed in myself, but I did kind of combine the holidays.
You did combine the two of them. It's okay though. I mean, you were pregnant, you were uncomfortable, you were close.
We just gotten back from our baby moon that day.
So it kind of
we flew in from Mexico that day.
Well, we kind of
we kind of celebrated it on the baby moon.
We kind of skipped it, kind of, because we did.
I got you a cake from DQ.
I guess we had just gotten home.
And had our family over and grilled.
I think I grilled. Well, I grilled, but I know a lot of dads grill on their birthday,
Yeah.
so it's whatever. But yeah, we had Father's Day.
And I grew your child.
You did grow my child
all day, every day.
But like Father's Day and my birthday were the same exact day.
Yeah, and
it kind of was a bummer because it was like. Yeah. Those are 2 days
I failed. I'm gonna be honest with you. I failed you. I'm so sorry.
But you know what? It's all right. Like there's a lot going on. So, but this year Father's Day is on the 16th of June,
which is still only 2 days before your birthday. So we talked about it, and we think it's best if Matt celebrates Father's Day in September.
Yeah. So we're boycotting
September 18th.
We're boycotting Father's Day for the month of June and celebrating it 3 months after my birthday.
Yeah, we're gonna make a big hoopla about it.
Because nothing goes on in September. Like, I guess September is kind of the month of pumpkin spice, where everyone's like, let's go get pumpkin spice lattes. Mm-hmm. So now we're gonna add in Father's Day.
Yeah, September needed new holidays anyway.
Yeah.
After this, they played Into the Backlash with clips like these.
Holy frick! Oh my gosh!
Oh my!
Are these cake pops? This is like way too over the top. This is so
This is the best Father's Day ever!
It says best dad ever.
Why is that funny to you?
You know why it's funny.
You are the best dad ever.
Funny. You think I'm the best dad ever?
Yeah, wait, why is it funny?
Well, I said the thing about not celebrating Father's Day. I don't know if you're trolling me right now. I don't know what's going on.
Now, we're finally caught up to the biggest controversy of Matt and Abby's career, which took place in September 2024. In September, Matt and Abby went on a cruise with their 2 sons. While on the cruise, Matt and Abby were spamming their accounts with a ton of videos about the cruise, which honestly, by the way, is extremely unsafe for the kids. You shouldn't tell millions of people online that your 1 and 2-year-olds are on the boat in real time. They're going to be stalkers on that boat. But anyway, Abby uploaded this Instagram story about the cruise, which said, "So we ended up taking them for 5 nights, and it became apparent that they weren't enjoying it, and therefore we weren't either. So then we switched our dinner time to after their bedtime and FaceTime the monitors while we ate. Parentheses, baby monitors don't work on board unless you're only like 10 feet away. And that worked out much better for everyone." Abby quickly deleted this Instagram story, but she wasn't fast enough, and she clearly just admitted to child neglect and endangerment. Not too long before this Instagram story was posted, Matt uploaded the cruise room tour where he said they had 2 rooms on the cruise. Their 1-year-old slept in one room and their 2-year-old slept in the other. So putting 2 and 2 together, everybody thought that Matt and Abby put one baby in one room and one in the other, put them to bed, set up the baby monitors, and abandoned the 2 sleeping kids while they ate a fancy dinner by themselves.
We do that so that we can have one kid in one room and the other kid in the other room.
Now, if you don't know, it's 100% illegal in the US to leave a baby alone. It's even illegal to put your baby to sleep in their crib in your own home and walk down the sidewalk. Even that is child endangerment because there are so many things that could happen in a short time span if you leave a baby unattended. In most states, it's even illegal to leave your kids home alone or unattended if they're under the age of 7. All of these regulations are why Abby deleted her Instagram story so quickly. For the next few days, rumors were running rampant, not just on TikTok, but on almost every social media outlet, and even on big news outlets. Everyone was saying Matt and Abby were guilty of child endangerment. A lot of people were saying that if they thought this Instagram story was okay to post, what else were they doing behind the scenes? A few days later, Matt and Abby came out with this apology video. In the apology, Matt and Abby say there was a family member watching the kids in the room the entire time. But this puts so many holes in their story. If their kids were just being babysat by a family member, why would they have ever posted about the baby monitor setup? And why would they never mention the babysitter? No one besides Matt and Abby's diehard fans bought this apology, and the comment section was heavily filtered.
Hey everybody, we usually would not be making a video like this, but there is information circulating about us that is completely untrue. So we just wanted to set the record straight, clear the air, because we take our role as parents extremely seriously. And we love our children more than anything in the entire world. And we're very protective of our kids. So we just got back from a 7-night cruise with Abby's extended family. And this was everyone from Abby's grandma, our children's great grandma, to our 1 and 2-year-old. And so where this whole controversy started, I guess, is a few days ago, Abby posted on her Instagram story that we were at dinner FaceTiming the baby monitors while our children were asleep in their staterooms. And people started to speculate and believe that we had left our children alone in their staterooms. And that is just completely untrue because we had someone with our children at all times on this boat. Period.
I can see where my story did lead to misunderstanding, which is why I ended up deleting it several hours after posting it, is because I could see that it was causing concern and misunderstanding. And I do want to say thank you so much to those of you that were concerned about the safety and well-being of our children as their parents. That is our first and foremost main concern. But to know that other people share those same concerns for our precious boys, it really means a lot. So thank you. But I do want to clarify that we have not, would not, will not ever leave our children unattended. We would never ever want to put them in harm's way in any way. I do want to clear up the baby monitor situation. Our children sleep in these blackout tents every single night, whether or not we're traveling or if we're just home. And a feature of these tents is they have a spot for a sound machine and a spot for a monitor. And even if we are sleeping in the exact same room as our boys, we always turn their monitor on so we can watch and see what's happening inside the tent, make sure they're okay, see if they've fallen asleep or if they've woken up. We just love to have eyes on them. We're always concerned about them. And so that's why even when we would, tag team and take turns at family dinner, we would turn on FaceTime so we could also have eyes on them as their parents if we weren't the ones, attending them in that moment.
And we're so thankful to them, you guys, because we spent a lot of our time on this boat in our staterooms manning the baby monitors, and if it wasn't for Abby's extended family, we really would have not gotten a chance to really get out of the room. So thank you to them. Thank you to you guys for listening to what we had to say. It really means a lot to us, and we appreciate you listening to the very end.
Thank you.
This apology video received over 18 million views. The video before this one had over 7 million views, which is way higher than their normal videos. As you can see, millions of people were constantly checking their page for an update or apology before the official apology was posted, which was giving them a ton of views. Some people think this entire cruise situation was orchestrated by Matt and Abby in order to receive more views and money than ever before. If they did make it all up, that's extremely messed up, but not as messed up as actually abandoning your kids. I hope they are telling the truth about the babysitter, but the story just makes no sense. On November 11th, 2024, Matt and Abby uploaded another clip from their podcast to TikTok. But this time they uploaded it to their main TikTok account. In this clip, Matt opens up about the entire internet turning on him.
It was soul crushing. It was, dude, why am I like,
You don't have to share as much.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to, you can.
I wrote a song about like being depressed, thinking it would like help people that were also depressed. And then it felt like the whole internet turned on me and was like, you hate your wife and kids. That was really, 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 really hard. Because I love my wife and kids so much. So, shoot.
That was really eye-opening because I think we've made strides as a culture, like immense strides in the area of mental health and even that conversation surrounding men and mental health. But that was like, oh shoot. We are nowhere close to where we need to be. Depression doesn't care if you're a father or if you're a husband and it's not personal. That's the whole point. Like Like, it's not personal. I never once took it personally. We are educated nowadays, I would like to believe, on what depression is and what it isn't.
I had never experienced that really until I think about a year ago is when it first started.
I do feel bad for Matt since he does have depression, but they need to be honest with themselves. If Matt and Abby didn't post so many controversial videos leading up to that song, no one would have hated the song or thought it was about hating your wife and kids. Time and time again, Matt and Abby refuse to acknowledge that they've dug their own graves on the internet. If they never implemented their clickbait, rage bait, comment bait, social media strategy, no one would hate them today. But they just won't even accept that, and they are still up to the same stuff today. The moral of the story is don't overshare on the internet and put your spouse on blast for views, or else you'll end up in a terrible place mentally. Yes, you'll be rich beyond your wildest dreams, but your reputation will be destroyed forever because of your horrible digital footprint. And people online or people who see you outside in public will just think you're a terrible person and will probably treat you differently if they see you in person. But this has been the internet's hatred of Matt and Abby explained. Let me know what you guys think about this entire saga down in the comments below. While you're down there, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to help us reach 200,000 subscribers before the end of February. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.